I'm gonna look at the camera like this. Welcome to the Wake Pod, where we talk about life in Korea as foreigners. I am Abby.
And I'm Emma. And today we're going to be talking about the holidays in Korea.
Yeah.
When you're a foreigner with no family.
This is
So what do we
episode
do?
2.
What do we do here,
This is,
Abby?
This is episode 2 of WIG. What do we do here? You may be wondering. So are we. We are talking about what it's like to live in Korea. We're trying to bring like a nuanced takes to conversations about life here. And then also we wanted to kind of shine a spotlight, I guess, on how diverse life here really is. Like, I think Emma mentioned it last time that, you know, you see so many stories about like how
every pocket of Korea has like foreigners and like international stories. And every like even Korean families have international stories, but just no one really talks about it. Or it's just becoming like a thing that people acknowledge.
Or like when you read like a news article, it's like, oh, South Korea is one of the most modernist countries on planet Earth, like there's no diversity. And it's like, well, I mean, like, I guess like statistically yes, but it really just paints a picture as though like there's no one living
there's
here
just so many like
Korean.
reasons, there's those nuances to even like statistics like that. So that's wanting to explore all of that.
So welcome to episode 2. If you're a returning listener, thank you so much. We really appreciate you sticking with us as we embark on this really pathless journey, you could say. And today we're going to talk about a time of year that is both like quite difficult and quite lovely, which is the winter holiday season. Emma, your family is spread across several different continents, actually. So tell us like what that means to you and how things maybe have changed as you've grown up as well, like from being more of, I guess, a nuclear family to just like everyone's adults now and like living on their own.
All over the place.
Well,
just to like explain my family situation to
that's probably good.
Anyone who might not know.
We know that it's only our parents listening, but like please pretend.
So my dad's English, my mom's Korean, and sort of my whole life has been a lot of like moving back and forth between Korea and England. And I also have 4 siblings, so there's 5 children. So it's just like my whole childhood has been sort of like us being scattered, and that's sort of always how it's kind of been. And especially as we get older, there's less pressure for my parents to put on the holiday for like the kids. So we're just kind of like it's become less of a priority for everyone to gather every year. Instead of getting together at Christmas time, we try and like a lot of us work during Christmas time, and then we plan to like gather at other times of the year, like in spring or like in the summer. Right. Usually like around
when the weather's
weddings.
Nicer to like travel as well.
When the weather's that's a big thing actually. Like my dad never really likes going back to England for Christmas because it's always like rainy and
cold and wet.
There's literally like 6 hours of daylight. So
awful.
he's like, why would I want to travel 12, 13 hours to get 6 hours of daylight?
And drizzle.
So actually my dad avoids going to England for the holidays.
Interesting. That's good to know.
We literally, if we do go to England, it's literally just to eat good food. And that's about it. But we haven't really had much of a Christmas like recently. So I guess like a lot of this episode maybe will be more in terms of like having to adapt. I think
it might be. Although I mean,
maybe it's more of a advice giving session. I don't know.
Perhaps, maybe. I mean, I could use a lot. I don't know what I'm doing,
but
at all.
So for you, is this your first
This
Christmas alone?
This is my first Christmas without family, like in my whole life. It sucks.
Wow.
Oh, wow. It's quite interesting. Like
your family always gathered for Christmas, right?
Yeah,
it's like because you're quite a religious.
I don't know if I'd say we're quite religious. Mom, don't.
But like, what is the tradition like?
I mean, like we have a pretty strong tradition because my mom is ordained as a Presbyterian minister, um, which I've been sharing that recently, and every time I say it, like Koreans are like, "Your mom,"
A
because
woman.
it's
A
still
woman.
a little, I think, less common for women to be pastors here.
Yeah.
And so I spent like every holiday season that I can remember growing up with tons of church time. And like it was always
I like can't even relate to that.
I mean, it was always like quite fun because again, like my mom being you know, a mother, a relatively young mother at that point, I guess you would say, like knowing what kids are into, it actually was super helpful. So like to like keep us engaged and not have it be boring. I mean, like obviously
Yeah.
Christmas isn't boring to children. Like it's a very
Yeah.
exciting time. But I mean, so in the Presbyterian church,
But I can imagine it's a lot more like engaged in a meaningful way.
Exactly,
Whereas for us,
exactly.
it's like presents in the morning, and that's like us for the whole week, like occupied.
Yeah, like I would say yes, definitely. Like I was gonna say in the Presbyterian church and the Catholic church, and I sorry if I'm leaving out any other denominations. Please don't come after me if you're not listed. We adhere pretty closely to Advent, which is the time, like it's 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas. So it's about waiting and it's about like expecting the birth of Christ. And that I think has really shaped not just like my Christmases, but also kind of who I am as a person, which I'm thankful for because it teaches you this value of waiting and how it's like delayed gratification basically.
Yeah.
And it's quite nice. So like we would have Wednesday Advent dinners at church, and there would be, and my mom, like the great DCE leader that she was, she would set up these super intergenerational activities because that was always her. This is going to be less holidays and more just how a Christian upbringing shaped me as a human. But my mom has always said that the thing about a church that is great for raising kids, and if you find the right one, which I think can be quite hard these days because I feel like so many of them are so bigoted and just awful.
But from that, you get a lot of like churches with different values like popping up. Like
Exactly.
I know like the Queer Eye, they did that. They remodeled
the
queer church. I thought that was
and
so
that's
cool.
like like every youth pastor I ever had happened to be queer. Like I don't know how that worked out, but like amazing.
That's awesome.
10 out of 10. Yeah. Like amazing.
Got one of the rare ones.
Exactly. And so like I was raised in a quite open church, and my mom has always said that the best thing about it for like raising kids is that you teach them how to accept or at least deal with people who are different from them, because it's intergenerational. There are gonna be people that you don't like in any social situation, but in church you have to be nice to them because what would Jesus do? and you're baptized into this community as well, right? Which I think people take maybe less seriously now, but like Southern old ladies, when they hear the words "we take you as family," that means that if they see you put one toe out of line, it is their responsibility to tell you that you should not be running around the Sunday school room with your shoes off, because that is not how a young woman behaves herself in Sunday school. Wow. They're like, boys, your parents wouldn't want you hitting each other like that. And as a member of your church family, I'm telling you to stop. So there's a lot of like benefits, I think, to having to accept criticism from not your family, accept punishment from not your family. Like, so that sort of thing was always important to my mom. So she would make these Wednesday night dinners really intergenerational. Like when you came in, she would have like
would you like be scattered like seating,
and she would do it so that you couldn't like she would be very sneaky. Like there would be like a tub of markers, and she'd be like, take a marker that like is a color that you like, and then everyone want to do it. And later she'd be like, everyone with a green marker sits at this table, and all the boys who'd like, oh, I want blue and green, they'd be like, oh man, no, we're not sitting together. So like it was a great way of making sure that people had to kind of like interact. And then there would be like really good discussions, a lot of encouraging people to interpret the Bible in their own way. Like, what do you think when you hear this verse? Or like, what does waiting mean to you? What does Christmas mean to you? So I had a quite strong upbringing in the church in that way. And then that also carried over to our home life, where
Yeah.
we had like during Advent, my mom, so she's collected angels and nativity scenes for like as long as I've been alive.
Oh yeah, you were telling me.
Yeah, I think I told
I
you.
think
this
is so
it's
cool.
it's
as well.
like so cute. Like
I
so,
just love like the tradition in yours. Like
I miss it.
It's just like completely like my family's super like neoliberal. Like just my dad like rejects religion. It's purely like just completely different.
I mean,
so it's nice.
Different strokes for different folks,
Yeah.
and we like it. But yeah, so we had a like nativity scene collection, which if you aren't familiar with what that word means, it's a like a little toy or like a wood carving or something that
Baby Jesus.
it depicts like the stable and Mary and Joseph and Jesus and the shepherds and wise people or whatever.
Wait, are there like fixed things that are
Typically,
like
yeah.
there has to be?
I don't think there. I think there has to be Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
Oh, right. I forgot to make Jesus in this one. Oh, Mary. Jesus disappeared. God just went like that. I mean, lucky that's kind of what happened.
Sometimes in our church nativity scenes, baby Jesus would go missing, and my dad would be like, "Where is Jesus?
Where is Jesus?
Jesus has left." But yeah, so we had nativity scenes, and then we had angels of like all different types. So like metalwork or like metalwork, is that the right word? I don't know.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
wood carvings and like porcelain and stuff. And each day, my sister and I would alternate. Like so, once Advent started, my sister and I would alternate, and we would get to choose like a nativity or an angel that day, and we would put it up somewhere in the house. So like it's like a
Was
gradual.
it up for one day only?
No. Like it was a gradual increase of Christmas decoration.
Jesus everywhere.
Jesus. Just
no, it's like the nativity scene. It goes up one day only. Catch it while it lasts.
But Jesus everywhere, like everywhere you look. There's, but I mean, honestly, more the angels I think stand out more because they're usually more like brightly colored and they're like very shiny and stuff. So
everyone likes an angel.
And then I just remember like, I mean, I'm from like Kentucky is pretty cold. Fun fact: Kentucky is actually the same latitude as like Seoul, so the weather is actually quite similar. Like
just throughout the year.
Yeah, like cold winters, humid summers. So yeah, so it's like quite cold in Louisville in the winter. So there's also that feeling of like coziness and like holiday music. That my family and like I miss that about church a lot. Like I don't have a congregation currently, and I miss like Christmas music, like traditional like organ and like just hymnal type. Like first
for
Noel.
me it's the jazz. I like just put on the Christmas jazz.
I
like
the
like what you hear in Starbucks.
I was gonna say this is something where maybe we can pass the ball back to you a little bit. One thing that I also miss about being home for the holidays is food. Like not having like most Korean apartments, if you didn't know, don't have ovens.
I miss European food so much.
So there's like no baking to be done.
Yeah.
I mean, Emma has an air fryer, which she gets creative with. I don't. Yeah. I just
but even with air fryers,
tough
as
it
great
out.
as it is, you're limited.
But so you said that you were saying if you do go back to the UK, it's for food. So what I guess holiday traditions you guys have around food, or maybe not even traditions, but like what is a Christmas dinner like for you guys? Or
well, I mean, I guess that would be our tradition because we're not like religious at all, but like family is very important to us. So our Christmas revolves around the dinner and like getting together for the dinner. Actually, there was one year. Like when I was in high school, it was such a weird, I don't know how this happened, but for some reason, like all of us were like all 5 kids and my parents were all in Seoul, but literally for like a 2-hour period. And then someone had to leave like after or something, like for some reason it was just limited to literally 2 hours. So we just fit our Christmas dinner into like those 2 hours.
Wow,
and that was like
sweet.
it. Yeah. But, oh, sorry.
Silence your devices, please, ma'am.
Whoops. But yeah, so Christmas dinner is like what it's all about. Presents is what it's all about until you're like 21.
Right. And then you're buying other people presents
and you're like fuck this. Oh, sorry.
No,
this.
No, we're cursing. This is not for children. If you're listening and you're a child, stop.
Sorry. But Christmas the dinner is the main thing, the food. So it's usually like we'll wake up. Or oh, it's usually like when I was a child, we'd wake up at like 5 a.m.
Oh, dude, I've
like
been
jump
there.
on our parents and be like, you have to wait until 8. And then so me and my little brother would sit watching like Elmo or something
That's so cute.
until 8. I remember this so vividly. And as soon as it's 8, we jump on everyone. We're like, it's Christmas! And then we make everyone come because my siblings are like teenagers at
Right.
this point. So the last thing they want to do is wake up.
Right. They're like, we would prefer 10. Please go away.
Yeah. But not when you have little baby
It's true.
siblings. But yeah, we'd open all our presents and then it'd be like a big just like fry up breakfast.
Oh,
You know, like bacon, eggs, like
that's
just
our vibe
the
as well.
normal. Yeah, and then it'd just be like a day of playing with your stuff, like all the toys that you got. And then it'd be like my dad slaving away by himself in the kitchen. Like, and we have the roast turkey, like the
Ooh.
stuffing. It's usually like cauliflower cheese,
That sounds good.
like potatoes, gravy. Like it's actually really simple what we had. It's like the usual roast dinner stuff. But yeah, it's just nice. Like it's just more special.
I'm glad we just ate before we're talking about it.
Yeah, because
Otherwise I'd be like so sad and hungry.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
As soon as I kind of got a bit older, like I was always the one making like desserts, or like I'd always put on like a mulled wine. Even when I was like 15, I'd be like, we need mulled wine, so I'd make a big pot of mulled wine. So that's like my own little.
That's yours.
I
like that.
But yeah, being in Korea, like whenever we do have Christmases in Korea, just growing up and stuff, it's basically just a mission for my dad, like just to like how closely can we just recreate Christmas dinner in England?
So
like
cute.
that's what Christmas in Korea is for us.
And it's almost a challenge, I guess, because
It
of
is a
how
challenge.
grocery shopping.
Yeah.
But do you think he views it as a fun challenge or a frustrating challenge? Like let's see if we can get this done, or like a god damn it, there's nothing we need.
Well, I think like years ago, maybe when he was a bit younger, it was like more fun. And then when like things did start getting imported, or when you did discover something, it's like super exciting. But now it's just like you have everything in Korea, but like why don't we have certain things?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Alas, here we are in South Korea.
And it's just impromptu baking.
I miss that too. The best I can do is I use Yan rice cooker to make cakes.
Yeah.
So I'm sure everyone has been feeling weird about the holidays.
I mean, I guess that's why maybe this topic like now is like less so much of like just being a foreigner. I feel like we're just talking more in general. Like,
and that's part of why we wanted to do it as well, I think.
So many people are just have to be alone.
Yeah, the holidays are going to look different this year for everyone, I think.
A lot of people will just completely ignore the fact that COVID exists and
go
out anyway.
Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
But I don't know, there's something about like you say Friendsgiving, but like me when I was at university, like my parents were here and I was living at home with my siblings, but like siblings, you don't
siblings
really...
aren't parents.
It's like vibe. We cook a meal to have together, but it's not like special or anything.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not going to be like, let's brother and sister, let's get together. And no, it's like, we'll get together.
Now we all hold hands around the table and say what we're thankful for.
It's literally an excuse to eat good food and then like get wasted. That's what it is when you're just with your siblings.
Yeah.
But I will say like those university Christmases that I had, like I would have Christmas dinner with like my university friends because I had a couple international, like basically my only university friends are like international people. Oh, wait, sorry if you're an English friend watching this, but like
wait a minute, I thought she liked me.
Nope, no. But yeah, like I used to do Christmas dinners with like those friends that like wouldn't, or like I guess just anyone before they went away on holidays would have. I don't know, it's just nice doing it with friends as well.
It's great doing it with friends.
It's actually like almost, it can be, I mean, you have the tradition of your family dinners, but it can almost be nicer because it's like you don't have the pressure of being around like older family members.
Yeah, you're not going to get asked the same questions over and over again.
You can bounce if you get annoyed at someone.
It's true. Yeah, you can kind of dip. Yeah, and also, I mean, there's also something to be said with like, maybe this is a good transition to talking about like what it means to maybe be spending Christmas alone this year, or be spending Christmas quite differently because you're not able to meet with as many family members, or you're, I mean, I know a lot of people were like, I don't know if I would have gone home this year anyway, to be honest, just because it's quite expensive.
Yeah.
And I just started my first job, so I don't have that much money yet.
Yeah.
But I know, like, for example, one of my coworkers, who I love dearly and is having a bit of a hard time right now because she's really stressed with work. I mean, luckily she has her vacation, but I think it's harder for her right now because she would be going back to the UK. And just like knowing that there are people who were kind of banking on that. I mean, she scheduled her vacation the way she did, hoping that things would be handled.
I mean, it's similar. Like, I was saving my holidays, like,
just
hoping I'd be able to fly home.
So yeah, if you're someone who's in that situation as well,
like, what can you?
So
what is there to do in Korea?
What is there to do? or just if you're by yourself anywhere in the world, what is there to do?
Yeah.
And I mean, I think one thing just in general that I've been thinking about recently, not even in light of COVID, is just how, as an adult leaving your family's house, do you start making your own traditions? Because there comes a point.
I actually haven't thought of that.
There comes a point where it's like you decide, well, there's something that my parents did that I really loved, and I want to continue doing that. Or a time where you decide, like, you're making like your thing is mulled wine, right? So like that's like a good example of, you know, you start building something that's more to your personality, or something that you want to share with the people that you're, you know, that you love, whether they're friends or family, or, you know, maybe your new family that you're starting because you're going to get married or you're having kids or something. So yeah, we're not there yet.
Whoa.
Single and ready to mingle.
Yeah,
after
not
COVID.
ready to start a family.
Not ready to start a family. But yeah, it's like, and I mean, I don't have the answers to a lot of this, I think, because I'm very much like exploring and like thinking and being like, yeah, I'm gonna get through Christmas, and then also being like, wow, I hate this. I don't like this.
You could love it though.
I might. I don't know. I mean,
what are you like planning on doing on Christmas Day? Like, do you have anyone that you can hang out with? Because I should just say, my parents do live in Korea, so I'm gonna be going down to my parents for the 2-3 days because I don't want to spend any more time with them.
Emma, you're offending 2 of our 4 listeners.
Sorry, I just spent a whole week with them.
That is true.
So I don't really need.
One of our friends and I were joking about, so in Korea, this is important context, I guess. In Korea, there are plenty of Christians, so there is like this. It is a Christian holiday.
Yeah, but you just have 25th is like
it's just the 25th
day off.
And I mean, like, it's not like I'm friends with some Christians, like Americans, who are working for like the Presbyterian Church and the Methodist Church here in Korea. And we, before COVID got super bad, and I guess before COVID started, actually, it's been so long, we would have like monthly dinners. Yeah. And I remember in November we were having a monthly dinner, and they were telling me and then some YAVs, who are young adult volunteers that are with the Presbyterian Church, living in Korea just like for I think a year. They were like, yeah, so just warning you guys, Christmas in Korea is not gonna feel as magical as it does for you in the States. Like, the vibe around it is different. It's more consumer-y. It's more about shopping. It's coupley. Oh, it's so datey.
Yeah.
So
it's basically like buying stuff, like showing people you care about them by buying them stuff.
Which, like, I mean, is kind of Christmas in the US, but there's not like the gathering aspect as much. There's not the it's like you go out with someone
it's sort of balanced, like in the West, with the consumerism, but there is like the genuine tradition that like
that a lot of families have, or like I feel like everyone at least has Christmas dinner with someone, right? So yeah, one of our friends was joking with me that we should get Tinder dates and go on a Christmas date with them.
You should.
COVID. B, as much as I like want to date theoretically. I mean, this is
When
a
it
topic
actually
for
comes
this is a whole
another thing.
podcast worth of conversation. But
Yeah.
when I actually think about dealing with a man, oh man, no. I'm not ready. My mental state is just, I can't even handle my own self right now because of the amount that I'm working and stuff. So I don't know. So I don't know about that. I'm hoping that I can at least force someone who's in town.
It could be fun, but also it's like 50-50 chance
Exactly.
of being good and bad.
It's like,
and don't want the 50 chance of that one day.
Yeah, do I want to ruin my
ruined.
Christmas with some
You could do on
asshole?
Christmas Eve.
Oh, I am off that day because I took.
And then if
off.
Christmas Eve goes bad with this random person, then Christmas Day can be your time to fully indulge in yourself.
That could be. But yeah, so I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
but I do plan on well, right now, I mean, I'm gonna probably do something nice food wise. I don't know what that is yet. The two things that I have, well, one I've done and one thing that I'm planning on. The one thing I'm planning on doing is I will wake up and I will turn on Animal Crossing New Horizons. And
you need Christmas music as well. Christmas music.
That's true. Christmas music. I mean,
as soon as you wake up.
As soon as yeah, it's true.
Before like you make coffee or tea or whatever.
Amen to that. Oh, hot chocolate, something like that sounds good.
Maybe I should just do that every morning now. Just put on Christmas music.
Honey, I play Christmas music while I'm putting my makeup on every day. It's been since September. Since December started. Damn. September will be. So I'm gonna wake up and play Animal Crossing on Christmas Eve or on Christmas Day, not Christmas Eve, because they always do holiday events. And it's very cute. They did buy it into the Switch, but yeah, like I really like it. Actually helped me on Thanksgiving to have that. They do like they call it like Turkey Day, and then actually I don't know,
but it's nice. Animal Crossing's like that calm. Like,
yeah, it's very
really
calm,
do anything,
and there's like, and it's kind of the same like they did a Halloween one as well that was like you do like trick-or-treating with your animals in your neighborhood. So it's kind of like, even though you can't do it in real life, or maybe you're too old to do it in real life,
you're like, but I can do it on
Animal Crossing. And it's like there's still something, like there's still some surprise to look forward to, because like obviously this year I'm like I gave gifts and I'm getting gifts, but like I don't think I'm getting anything from anyone that's like physical, because I'm in a country that can't really be shipped to. So like, what am I trying to say? You can get that kind of excitement through something like Animal Crossing, where like there's an event and you don't really know like it's going to be fun, and it's going to be positive, and it's going to be cute, but you don't know like what's going to happen.
That's good for Animal Crossing because you've already paid for it. So like you don't have to pay. I'm like on Sim City. And there's holiday stuff, but you have to pay for everything. So it's like, nah, not interested.
That's annoying. Yeah, I appreciate that they do like updates as like that's the one thing that I love. I'm so happy about like the new frontier of gaming that we've reached. I'm an ad copywriter, can you tell? Something that's really exciting to
things
know
can be like
is updates.
Yeah,
like you can buy a $60 game, which is expensive, but it's not as
always new.
Exactly,
yeah,
it's like
constantly
so nice to have these. So that's one thing, and then
is that what you're planning on doing?
That's what I'm planning on doing. And then I mean, Emma can see them, but I bought some decorations for my home. But yeah, so you are going down to your family on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans for that, or is it just gonna be chill?
It's literally just gonna be like probably chilling, just explore the island. They live on an island, so we usually just spend a couple hours driving around, like going for a walk, take the dog for a walk. But it'll mostly be revolved around like dinner. Like I have to try and find a turkey in Seoul before I go down, because I like because they won't be able to get one on the island.
Yeah.
So I'll probably like beg my boss, because he has a Costco card. So I'll just be like, can you please take me to Costco? And then I'm sure they'll have turkeys.
After everything I've done for you in the last calendar year.
Yeah, I'm sure that they will have turkeys. Fingers crossed. I was thinking about if I was alone as well, like what would I do? And I found that although I haven't been alone on Christmas Day or like on a holiday, when I am like alone in the city or I feel like lonely, I end up like exploring a lot, like going for walks, and I like doing that in the winter as well, actually, because you get the time to like you can go to like cafes and like warm up, and like
you can't right now, but
that's so true. But
no, that's fine.
Damn.
I did that though, actually. So the day that I took off time around Thanksgiving because I wanted to use all my vacation days, so I took off the day before Thanksgiving, and the day after. We were meeting the day after Thanksgiving to get dinner, and I obviously had nothing to do because also every time again, I'm sorry to anyone who's living in a country that's harder hit by corona because like it's insensitive to complain about this, but anytime I take vacation, we go into full lockdown.
Yeah.
It's been literally the last 3 times that I've taken vacation. We've gone into like high levels of lockdown here, which is I don't know why that's my luck. I spent a lot of that afternoon because there wasn't anywhere to go and you can't go to cafes or anything. I went to a cafe and got a coffee to go because they're allowed to do that right now. Cafes can do takeout. And I walked just like down, there's like so many nice paths in Korea. Like Seoul is one of my favorite cities just because of how accessible they made green space.
Accessible. And at wintertime, I love like the lights.
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
When it's like cold and dark and like the building lights and all the Christmas lights. I love. And I haven't walked around the city in a really long time.
Well,
I used to do it all the time.
Let's take Kiki and have a stroll. That's Emma's dog.
My dad.
Didn't know.
She's our third podcast member.
She is. You might hear her sometimes if we're filming at Emma's place.
Yes.
Or recording it, whatever. But yeah, so we plant where we had our Thanksgiving dinner is in Itaewon, and Itaewon is like close-ish to the Han River. So which bisects Seoul. So I walked down and just like carried my cinnamon white mocha latte made with Oatly oat milk, which you can't get most places in Korea, but
that's right.
I got it from Maxim Plant, which is
plug
not a sponsor.
Maxim Plant.
No one cares about us. We have just to be clear. So yeah, I like went there and like walked down to the river and just watched. The sunset was gorgeous. And took pictures.
Have you done Cheonggyecheon?
Not recently.
Yeah, Cheonggyecheon. I don't know why I just loved Cheonggyecheon.
I wonder if they'll close it though because normally they have like a winter light festival, and I feel like this year they'll probably.
They probably just don't put anything out.
Do that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would recommend exploring your city.
Yeah, if you can get out and be outside.
If you're somewhere new, or even if you're like somewhere you've always. That's probably me again.
Emma.
Sorry.
Silence your devices.
Yeah. What else?
Well, we're going to talk about...
Well, and indulge.
Yeah.
Like, lastly, just indulge.
Yeah.
Because when else can you?
Cook what you want. Order what you want.
Yeah.
Listen to your music. Watch your favorite movies. Rewatch your favorite movies. There is no shame. Play games. Play lots of video games.
Because it's cold, you have the excuse to also just stay in bed all day.
Amen. To that. Sleep late. Do whatever makes you happy, really. And also, again, like, I don't know if this helps, but like, know that if you're feeling particularly shitty this Christmas, that like I don't want to minimize anyone's feeling by being like everyone else is feeling that way, but like if it helps you, know that like so many other people are also feeling lost, and it's not because there's like something wrong with you or that you don't have enough people in your life. It's just because this year especially is such a strange time to be living the human experience.
Yeah. I mean, we're so close to 2021. I guess that's something to...
Yeah, well, but then I also want to caution people because I feel like people think that, like, the clock
is as bad as it can...
will strike midnight.
2015, it was literally like 2015 was the worst year ever. And then 2016 happened. It was like 2016 was the worst year ever. And then it's like 17, 18, 19, and then 20... It's just like, has there been a year in that period that has been better than the previous?
So let's stop with the like blank year will be my year thing because I think we're just jinxing it for everyone.
Yes.
Like no one...
21 will be so bad.
2021 will be fine.
Okay.
Like it'll be, where we're going to get some vaccines distributed. It won't be fast enough for most people.
Hopefully you can travel a little bit.
We won't just stop, like, be prepared. We're not going to just stop wearing masks all of a sudden. Like, it's a slow phase out. So 2021 will be... Yeah, some people will.
But,
if you're a good person...
I'm really looking forward to... I know how this is, like, again, weird to say, but I'm so looking forward to, like, the art that will come out of... like, what we'll see in the next, like, 5-10 years.
Yeah.
Just, like, with... people's stories, but also how people have like been forced to adapt in terms of like using technology and stuff. I guess that's like a whole nother like discussion.
I mean,
but
dude, the fact that
we've been,
like
recording this.
we have the fact that like drawing on your iPad is like a TikTok trend because everyone's just stuck at home. Like, I love that people
Yeah.
who like might not have considered themselves artists are able to get, and like I'm about to get an iPad for the same reason because I want
it's
that.
so much
just
fun.
option.
Like Procreate. Oh my gosh, so much fun.
I'm excited.
But
I was going to say maybe this is a good time to transition because I was going to say one of the other things that's super exciting about what's going to be coming in the next few years and what we can look forward to as we transition into 2021 is that while COVID has been absolutely awful, awful, awful for just about everything, the one positive has been that we're seeing a huge, like a shift that we already were seeing away from fossil fuels and just terrible things for the environment has been magnified. And it looks like it's not just a weird blip, it's like actually picking up speed.
I mean, more people are like opening their eyes to it.
Yeah, well,
wait, before we move on.
Yeah. Go for
it.
Let's
take pee-pee break. Pee-pee break.
And we are back.
I did a tinkle and I got some more water.
Well, we were talking about the environment and then we wanted to move that into
like what sort of, how can you approach like gift giving?
It's our eco segment of the episode.
Yeah. Where should we have a jingle? I'll just do that every time.
Now you'll have to
eco segment.
Memorize it.
I'm sure I can. Yeah, like how can you approach gift giving with a more environmentally conscious approach?
Well, Emma, how do you?
how do you know, I'm like not a big gift person. I know I literally banged on about how much we love presents earlier, but I've like grown out of the present thing. Like for me, the kind of gifts that I like to receive now are just like honestly donating to like either just give me money because I'm poor or just donate to a charity that I care about that I can't donate to myself because I'm poor. What am I saying?
What kind of gifts do you like giving? If you're going to give a gift, like what? I mean, obviously it's different for every person, but like...
Again, it's like the thing these days, gift giving in my family is not as much of a thing. But ever since I was a kid, I really enjoyed making stuff. I like knitted my dad a hat once or like... this doesn't really count as making something, but like I did the Build-A-Bear for my brother once, and I was like, adorable. Such a good sister. And like making mugs. I did like a thing once where in Starbucks I don't know if they still have it, but they used to have like tumblers which are like clear, and then you can pop the bottom out and then put your own.
Cute.
So I did like a thing for my mom where I like printed a bunch of family pictures and made her like a tumbler.
That's cute.
I like stuff like that, like making...
Yeah, I think personalized gifts are so nice. I prefer those.
Because I find now, like, if someone wants something, they'll just buy it for themselves.
Yeah.
So I find just buying things for people often is, like, meaningless and they don't really want it.
Yeah.
And then it's, like, a waste of money and then the material and then, like, and it's either just sitting in their house or... They just pass it on to some... I don't know. It's just... Yeah.
I know what you mean. I like receiving and giving gifts.
Yeah.
But I guess my qualifier is that I like it to be... Like, I think that the characteristics of a good gift are just in my personal opinion of what I like to get and what I like to give is something that you're not really expecting.
Yeah.
And something that is not too burdensome, to use a very Korean phrase. I feel like burdensome. I feel like you never hear the word burdensome but like 부담스럽다 is like a huge thing here.
Yeah.
Like 부담스럽게 주면 안 돼. So like I don't want to give someone something that is too much or something like I don't like giving...
they feel like they owe you something? Like
not necessarily that or more like I don't want to give someone something like clothing that unless it is like my, I don't know, like significant other or my closest friend,
know that they want
you're
it,
like,
they need it.
That piece is Emma. Like I'm positive.
Yeah.
Like I never want to be like, oh, like maybe she'd like that sort of thing. Never, because then it's like, what are they gonna like? do they keep it? Do they wear it once to show you that they appreciate and they like give it away? Like that's burdensome.
You know, I posted a meme
I saw
that the Christmas, like, girls do not want to get
yeah,
this
like
as a gift.
those like cheap things from like
Like if you go to the
drugstore,
drugstore, it's like the ready-made gifts that are like pink
and
and
they're
sparkly,
scented.
and they have like the plastic clear so you can see everything in it. Talking about like the packaging stuff, what would be gifts that don't have like any sort of packaging or any sort of waste, so you don't have to think about that sort of stuff?
Yeah. Well, when we chatted about this a little bit before, I mentioned subscriptions, which are amazing. Like if you have someone who got an iPad recently, buy them Adobe Suite, buy them 6 months or a year of Adobe Suite. If you
Creative Cloud,
sorry, that's what it's called, isn't it? It's Microsoft 365 Suite or whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
It's expensive as freak, but it is like so, like most of the jobs that I do, I wouldn't be able to do them if I hadn't
just
bought Adobe and then just figured out how to use it through like YouTube and Googling stuff. It's amazing.
I think any like, you know, there are so many of those like niche like documentary or like old film subscription services now too. Like if you have a Disney film lover in your life, I don't know, like there's all these, I don't even know what they're called, but like there's so many educational things as well that you can buy subscriptions to.
I will say my two like favorite, I don't have much time to watch a lot of this stuff, but obviously there's like Netflix and like Disney. Mm-hmm. The two that I find really interesting are, I forgot the name of it. Wow. Wait, I have the documentary one? The documentary one. I literally have it right here. Curiosity Stream, mm-hmm. which like I know a bunch of people have like sponsored, mm-hmm. so they plug it in their podcast, but it really is like amazing. There's just a bunch of random like documentaries. And also if you're a film buff, there's Criterion Channel, which is where a lot of like classic films from like all over the world, they like have everything on a Criterion Channel. So it's a really good place to educate yourself if you're a film person. And I actually use it as a research resource for
that's good.
The job that I just did. Mm-hmm. Very, very good stuff.
And you were saying earlier Tolzaki, right? Or is that not the word for that? What's the
Podaki?
Podaki.
Yeah. So, like I just did a video for the YouTube channel that I work with, Diana's Table. Another little plug. She just did a video on Korean podaki, which is, I think podaki is the fabric which people use to wrap like gifts or also just use it as a carrier, like to make a bag,
food or whatever. Yeah, if you're bringing someone, like you're going to someone's house and you're bringing them leftovers or kimchi or
exactly. Just is an easy way to wrap.
And it's cute, classy.
So if you are getting like gifts instead of using like paper, or they have like even the plastic wrapping paper now, which is like,
so at least please, if you're gonna do it, at least please use paper. Use something that you can recycle.
Like the plastic is ugly anyway.
But
instead of like the disposable materials, I would suggest doing like fabric, like potagi, or you could just also use any sort of fabric and use that as a wrapping gift, and then it becomes like hopefully useful for the next person, or they can return it, or all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I will say I told you about this, but one of my favorite gifts I've ever received was from my sister. She bought me, not all places will have this, and obviously now because of COVID it's a bit tricky, but there's a cinema in the UK, which I'm blanking on the name again. It's Friday night. It's Friday night.
We've had a lot.
Yeah, but they do like unlimited memberships, so you pay monthly and then you can watch as many movies as you want. So my sister got me a year's membership for that, and that was like one of the best presents I've ever received. So if you have any people that love movies, then that, like, if you can find something like that, that's also amazing, because going to cinema is just a different experience than watching at home.
Definitely.
And obviously like donating to charities, that sort of stuff. I generally, for like birthdays, I ask people to
donate things.
I do the Facebook thing. Yeah. But you actually like can raise a lot of money by doing that.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, I think I raised like $200 or something my last birthday.
I'll see. I need to get on Facebook sometime. I don't think I've logged in like a year. But yeah, there are definitely options.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say there's definitely options out there.
Yeah.
And also we wanted to emphasize, like, obviously right now it's extremely difficult for any businesses, but especially small businesses.
Yeah. So if you can
And
buy
yeah,
local, look
buying
around.
local.
If there's like a product that you want to get someone,
Mhm.
and maybe it's a big company, like see if there are other local smaller companies that are
Yeah.
doing the same thing. If there's something from Lush I want to get, like there's all these other like smaller Korean companies. Like you found a whole bunch.
Yeah. Once you that's the like blessing and curse of algorithms that we have
Yeah.
today, is like, once you buy something from one, you know,
Place.
eco-friendly company, you
Yeah.
have your entire Instagram feed is just
Filled
other
with it.
independent or like small batch or eco-friendly, which, like, again,
Yeah.
great, because I do love seeing those things. Not great for my
Yeah.
wallet though, because I am tempted to try all of them.
But yes, support small
Yes.
businesses.
And especially like
support female businesses.
Yes, I would say that, like, specifically, like, look around your community and see, you know, if there's a shop that looks like it's, I mean, a lot of places are being quite honest recently about how much they need help.
Yeah.
Or if, you know, there's somewhere that looks, especially,
I think this is more
like they're in
applicable
trouble.
to like the States. And
Yeah,
like
the States
UK. Oh, just
definitely.
not in Korea in general.
Korea's a little bit better off economically. But yeah, I mean, if you know that there's someone running, I don't know, like a small store in your neighborhood, and you know that they have 3 kids to feed, maybe even if
support them.
maybe if you don't need the candle that they're selling, you just buy it anyway because
Yeah.
you have the money. You know what I mean? Like, just
or hit up your
that.
local markets.
Yep.
There you can probably get like zero waste
Mhm.
options for gifts. Like you can take your own packaging. They'll
Yeah.
do that. And then in Korea, like the markets have independent like food producers, so you can get like, I mean, this is less of a gift thing, but maybe you want to gift food. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you can give like fruits that you get,
Mhm.
make it zero waste. And then
Yeah.
there's like really the Manwon market. I bought like tofu from there. It was the best tofu I've ever had. Yeah. And my mom just gave me like a sesame oil that's made in like the proper sesame shops, and it's so delicious. So that just makes me think like, yeah, everyone should just be buying more from these smaller food producers, even as gifts.
Yeah, but yeah,
that's just another little
tidbit.
Is there anything else we have to cover? Yeah, that like sort of wraps up what we want to talk about with holidays.
We hope that everyone's holidays are merry and bright, no matter where you are, what you're celebrating.
We hope our conversation like maybe gives you a little bit of solace.
Yeah, you can listen to this on Christmas Day. Hell
yeah. Or literally, yeah, I was gonna say, if you're alone on Christmas, we probably have like, if we're lucky, we have like 2 listeners that aren't our friends and family.
Yes.
Let us know. Maybe we'll hang out with you online.
And
Zoom Christmas.
If you are our friends and family and you're going to be bored on Christmas, Mom, because you'll be not with some of our family members, maybe you can listen to your beautiful daughter's beautiful voice. I talked so well about you being a DCE.
Yes. This can be her Christmas present. Be like, Mom, I made a podcast.
And you can listen. You can listen to it on your AirPods that Olivia and I buy you. That's her Christmas present.
Is she gonna get it on Christmas Day?
It's already. My dad has already intercepted the package.
Oh,
it's got there already. He's
but he's
intercepted
on your side.
He's on my side.
Okay.
He's intercepted, good. But he'll be back in Louisville for Christmas.
So that's perfect. Be like, here are AirPods.
And now you can listen to me and Emma.
Does she know about the podcast?
I've like mentioned it in passing a few times, but like I haven't mentioned that we're uploading it yet, and I probably won't for a hot sec. But yeah, I like
do it on Christmas Day.
I will.
All right.
I think that wraps us up, though. I think we're good.
Okay, awesome.
Talked about a lot.
If you want to get in touch with us, you can at our Instagram, which is wake_pod. Or you could like email us, I guess.
Yeah, we're wagepod@gmail.com.
Yes. And other than that,
you can. I was about to say
we are so not smooth at this.
I was about to say you can listen to us on things, but you're listening to us now, so that doesn't make any sense. And we're tired, and it's Friday, and I've had a full rosé.
Are we gonna keep the same outro?
Are we keeping? What is our outro? I don't even remember.
Last time it was We have been 2 eggs
Oh, yes.
in a wig pod.
This is, 2 eggs. 2 eggs in a wig pod.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And good night. And have a Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.